What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. There's nothing more satisfying than a person like myself who likes to think, right? Than to watch young white people figure out what racism is and figure out true American history. It's nothing more satisfying. It's what racist white people like to call woke, right? The biggest enemy of racism is wokeness. Wokeness. And they're not afraid of black people being woke, because we always been woke. As a matter of fact, when they say woke, what they're really saying is nigger. All right? Nigger level. All right? But the thing that they're afraid of is white people being woke. All right? Because if white people, right, they become woke, they end up being light-skinned. All right? Once they learn the true history of whiteness, what America is really about, they end up being light-skinned. Right? And if they end up being light-skinned, that ruins white supremacy. That ruins a system that depends on the ignorance of white people. And when they lose white people to light-skinnedness, right, they lose their power, which is currently happening right now, and I'm enjoying it. So without further ado, let's look at some old light-skinned folk, all right, who's done figured it out. They done got woke, right? They done unplugged. They done took the pill, right? You know, they out of the matrix. They done figured out how effed up it is. And here's the thing. They don't feel guilty about it because they're not supposed to feel guilty about it. They're simply supposed to feel ashamed about what those white folks did back in those days and then change it so it doesn't happen again. That's it. That's simple. Anyway, without further ado, this is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.
You want to know why we learned more about the Holocaust than we did slavery, American slavery? I mean, there's a couple of reasons, but the main one, it's fucking brutal, and they didn't want tiny white children to grow up with guilt and bad views on white people, because we would all just growing up fucking hating white people. The most demonic shit you could imagine was done by human beings, like white land-owning men, during this fucking American slavery. Like, slavery never went away. We still have it. It's just industrialized now. It's the prison system. We learned more about the Holocaust and the atrocities of the Holocaust because, is not real, and their weaponization of anti-Semitism. Yes, anti-Semitism is real, but the federal government of Israel and Jewish people are different fucking things. Fuck. We didn't learn about the brutality of American slavery because it would have made everyone want to burn this shit down. I think every single white person on Black History Month should go read and learn about the actual American history of slavery and how fucking brutal it was. It makes the actions of the Epstein class predictable. Because what do you mean? We've been doing this. This was the things in the files. That's what has been happening to black people in this country, to black and brown people in this country, to marginalized groups in this country since the foundation of the fucking country. I keep saying this, we built this country on the fucking files, dude, on the exact same shit, but probably worse. I don't know what all the Epstein class did off camera, off record, but I know for a fact that during American fucking slavery, they were doing things like eating the fucking kids, feeding them to alligators, raping the husbands in front of their fucking wives, watching them give birth and then killing the kid and then making the mother cook the kid to serve it up to the fucking slave fucking owners, dude. Like, go fucking read and then help me burn shit.
Sound glib about this. I'll probably sound kind of glib, but I found out my great-great-great-great-grandfather was a farmer in the South, so I was expecting to find him on the slave schedules, and there's 2 men with his name on the slave schedules. One of them might be him. One of them owned 10 people. It looked like it was a family. One of the children is listed as a little mixed race girl, so I don't like the implications of that. The other one owned 18 people. And it looks like it might be another family because most of them are children. And I figured I was going to find something like this. I don't know for sure which one's my great-great-great-great-grandfather. I'm fairly certain one of them is. I don't know what to do with this information. It doesn't say the names of none of these enslaved people. And I don't know what I would do if I found out their names. Apologize? What do you do? It's fucked up seeing it. It's fucked up. I don't mean to sound
I just don't see a problem with making sure that white kids don't feel traumatized in history class.
What?
Like the woke army wants everyone to know that white people bad, right? And Democrats have a huge problem with us toning down the slavery talk a little bit. Imagine being a middle schooler today and all you ever hear is how terrible your race is. It's making these kids borderline suicidal.
What the have you been reading? Okay, we learned about slavery in middle school, in elementary school. I never sat there and thought, oh my God, these are my people. I'm gonna go kill myself. Did you? Maybe? No, you didn't. Because we sat there and we were like, oh my God, this is so terrible. These people were treated so terribly. I would never do this. I would never let this happen. We need to make sure this never happens again. That's why teaching history is so valuable.
Yeah, but they only want to focus on white people as slave owners. Did you know black people were slave owners too? No, because there's not a chapter on them.
A chapter. What percent of slave owners were black? Roughly 1% of the free black population owned slaves. Crazy, right? And about half of that population owned one enslaved person, typically a spouse or a child, whose freedom they had bought. Then they didn't pay to have them emancipated because it was super expensive and super difficult. So you want a chapter in a book, but I'm telling you that more than one line of acknowledgement would be completely disproportionate.
Whatever, I just don't want these kids to feel bad about being white. They should feel pride.
You want them to feel white pride.
You want to know what baffles my mind is when white people get defensive about their race, or they get dismissive about slavery, spewing out percentages, spewing out facts about it was only this many white people that had slaves. And like, do you know what they did to black people? Have you heard the stories? Do you not remember the history books? And just to brush it under the rug and expect that we're just gonna pretend like, that was so long ago. Why are we holding on to these things? That's a wound that has never healed. That was horrific. And to think that you are trying to rationalize it in your brain somehow so that you don't have to feel sorry for the way they were treated and hear them when they're saying, hey, we're still being treated like shit. God, I don't get it. And I know that I'm not super qualified to talk on this, but that's just the truth.
The problem that we have in white America is that most white people, when they hear about white racism, most white people say, man, that's not me. I never discriminated against anybody. Never did. In their sense of what discrimination means or what racism is, they may be right. But they sit residing in a system from which they take full benefit, a system that defines them in and defines black people out. We are going to have to face the fact that we are not a community. A community is where a lot of people develop mutually beneficial relationships with each other. And our racist institutions and the political boundaries of our cities define black people out of the community. White people sit in their suburban homes and watch your television programs and hear about all of these laws that are being passed. Many of them are beginning to wonder, what is it with those colored people on there? Why are they so upset? All this wonderful stuff that we're doing for them. But we aren't focusing on the black man living on the block. He lives in a two-flat on that block. And he knows what the circumstance on that block was 10 years ago. And he knows what it is today. And he, too, has heard about all of those programs and laws being passed. But the hard fact of the matter is that things are not changing for him. It's no wonder that the white population and the black population are pitted against each other when the black man knows that the change is not coming and the white man thinks that major efforts are being undertaken when they are not. So I don't think anybody should be surprised when one sees the black people in an open attack on the system, because I I suspect they don't see that there is any other realistic alternative.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.